All right, I want to show you how to make what we call closure rails that hold the points, but our points are going to be hinged points. I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Let's take a look over here at this part where I've got one ready. All right, now let's zoom in. Right there you can see closure rail. And here's what we're looking at. I got my points here. They're set into a rail joiner at the end of this rail that comes around and goes up here by the frog. Now in code 100, you've got to make hinged points. This rail is too stiff to throw the points and have them stay. And whoops, I don't have their PC board soldered into them yet. I just have them made and I have them engaged. So what we're going to do, let's come over here now. And what I do is I went through my pile, I pulled out an ancient rail joiner like this, and then I hit it with my wire brush, clean it up. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to cut it in half. All right, now I've got a couple of these guys here, and I'm gonna put, well, first we gotta open it up, and let's see if we can get it open. Where I kind of smashed it down a little bit, I need to get that open. I'll just take the pliers here, and I'll run it on here, see if we can't get him open. That's kind of the tricky part, isn't it? If we can get them through there and open them right, that is going to be the tricky part. All right, let me work on that for a second, and then we'll come right back. I did get it, and I just used my little vise right there, and then got them go all the way through because I want to reverse them. And this little piece on the end, this little lip here, I'm going to cut that off. Okay, just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to just trim that little piece off the end there. All right, now when we do hinge points, one of the things that I've done in the past and all the previous ones is I put the whole rail joiner on there, then I soldered it right here, and then I ended up with a rail that was just a little bit taller than the rest of them. So this time I made the closures just a little bit longer, marked them with red, and I'll be able to put that on there, and I'll be able to lock down my rails here. And on the very end, when I put in the points, first we'll do this. I'll show you. Well, if this was the point, I put it in here, and now open it up a little bit. I'll open it up a little bit with a piece of rail. Like that. Okay. All right, now the joiner is going to get soldered on here, but it is going to be after I've got it. It won't be on the tie. That way, the rail will sit down just perfect. Okay, so now if we're putting in this particular rail and everything is good over here where I've got part of the frog in, all I've got to do then all I'm going to have to do is start piling on some gauges. We'll get a little, let's get a little flux in here. A little acid paste. And remember, the thing about the acid paste is we clean it later. So now let's see if you can see all that. Okay. Now this end piece here, I like to bend that a little bit. So just going to line it up for a second and see how it's going to look. gonna look like that. And this one actually, it's just, I must have already trimmed it because it's just right, but I like to put just a tiny bend like that. And the reason for that is I want to make sure that if wheels come in, that they definitely get directed into the frog. Okay, so now what I can do is take, since this rail is all locked down, we're going to take this one, we're going to put our acid wherever we want this guy. Okay. Lay him on there. And make sure that that little piece of rail joiner we got is in just the right spot. And now let's put some gauges on here. Let's go like this. That's suspect. There we go. Now let's make sure we keep moving it just right. I think what we'll do is we'll lock it down in just a couple places and we'll try it. Make sure we got what we want. Feels pretty good. So let's go ahead in between here. And we're going to lock down. We'll lock down the closure. And this outside rail. We're going to get him locked into position right here. Then we're going to get this one right there. Then we're going to get this guy right there. Now we're going to get to this tricky one here. There we go. The hinge is in and it's locked in place. So now we're going to come over here. I'm going to come around and do those on the back side too, because I want them to be extra strong. There. Okay. We've got everybody locked in place. But did it work? All right, where the frog is, we're going to do just a little work there where that frog is. Not too much. We just take a little file off the end, and then we bring in the other rail, the other part of the frog rail, and quest for frogs again. But this is how we do a hinge point. Now we got a hinge, and the rail's the right height, so we don't have to worry about that. And we're getting there. Little by little, it's coming together.